What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you're representing. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, and if you have not subscribed, I don't know why, but you're cheating yourself. After you subscribe on YouTube, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. Family, I'm going to let a few hundred of y'all come in and then I'm going in. I promise you, this will be a spirited discussion and a much needed discussion. And not just in the Black community, but all over the United States, people in this country are debating to use corporate punishment or not. And if you do, how far is too far? How far is too far? Is there such a thing as going too far while administering corporal punishment? I know it's a lot of whoop ass parents out there. Y'all pride yourself on whooping ass. You know, that's like a badge of honor for some of y'all. And for some of y'all, that's all y'all know how to do. I want to hear from you. I need to hear some logic. I don't need to just hear what else was wrong with kids. I want to hear some logic, some rationale. Where are the critical thinkers? Because it is my opinion that kids learn how to not make mistakes, not necessarily by getting their ass whooped, but by proper communication. Like a lot of times parents will just whoop kids and all they say is, don't do it again. You better not do it again. And they don't explain to them, you know, why it's not right. To them, an explanation is because I'm going to whoop your ass again. That ain't how you do it. In any event, fam, this story that I'm speaking on right now has been rehashed. It's a video that went viral, but not to the extent that it has today in recent days. It went viral back in 2019 when it was first put out. I think it was November of 2019 when it first went viral, and it kind of like got swept under the rug, but it's back and it's in full force and everybody's talking about it. Well, not everybody's talking about it, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, fam, the woman, I got her name, Brittany Thomas. Brittany could be seen showing up to the school, swinging on her son with a belt. I'm going to give you some of the story as told by Beaumont Enterprise. Brittany Thomas, wearing a gray hoodie and black slippers, appeared briefly in court for a hearing to get an update on the status of her children, who were removed by the state after the video surfaced early last month. She was arrested by Jefferson County Sheriff's deputies outside of the courtroom minutes before the hearing was to start. Brittany said, "This is unfair." She was screaming and using expletives. "Get me out of this such and such," as she proceeded inside the courtroom, as her case proceeded inside the courtroom. She was transferred to Jefferson County Jail. Judge Larry Thorne explained that he would not allow her to be present if she is incapable of maintaining a decent behavior. And I'm gonna break this down for y'all, fam. I'm gonna break it down one at a time, in segments, because it's important to get the full story, to get the full scope. When I first saw her beating the boy, and I'll put a link in the description if you have not seen it yet. Well, actually, you can just copy and paste the title of this into Google search and you'll see the video. But you know what? I won't be lazy about it. I'll take the time out and drop a link right quick, because I shared it on my Instagram on yesterday, and it was one of the most viewed and engaging posts that I've ever put up. So people are talking about this particular topic and this particular situation that involved Brittany Thomas swinging on her son with a belt in school, you know, while he was at school. I'm trying to find, here we go. Here's a link right here. So I'll share the link. Let's see, where is it? I'm gonna put it over here. I'll put it right here in the chat for y'all for easy access. Boop, boop, boop. Do it like that. Now you want to check it out, you can check it out. But that's the video. That's the link to the video. That is the link to the video. Again, this is a story that happened in 2019, November 2019, and it has resurfaced, and a whole lot of people are talking about it right now, and it has brought up the subject once again about whippings. I know that a lot of people tend to say that, well, the kids today are out of control because they don't get ass whippings. Well, you know, that mother was out of control because it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. The mother, let me let y'all see my face, fam, so I can show you how serious I am about this. Let me get this woman off the screen. I don't know how she got, look like, I don't know what's wrong with her. I don't know if they touched her up or what, but in any event, let me explain something to you, family. This woman went up to the school, snatched her son up, called him an N-word, got in his face like a monster. Look at this, fam. I want you to see this. This is how she was in her son's face, calling him the N-word. I will fuck you up, mother. Like, she was like a beast. Now, family, does this look like love? I mean, you know, because I know some of us was raised like that. You know, some of us got beaten, and we think we really turned out well. We don't attribute none of our anger problems to our traumatic childhood experiences where our daddies and our mamas beat the hell out of us, drug us, treated us like animals. We don't really make that connection. Some of us are so messed up that we don't even understand. We got messed up so bad that we don't even understand that we got messed up. We think that's normal. We think we actually survived. Since we survived it, we should pass that on to our children. We think that shit was all right. We think we actually turned out all right. You ever thought that even if you did turn out all right, you ever thought that perhaps if your mama and daddy would have done it a little differently? I ain't saying excuse discipline. I'm not even saying not even administer corporal punishment. I'm saying had they done it with a little bit more love, tenderness, kindness, consideration, compassion, perhaps you would be an even better person. You ever thought about that? This woman called her son everything but a child of God, a 7-year-old kid. Now, I know the kids are bad. I get it. A lot of kids are bad. But come on, fam. Okay, what did the boy do? What did the boy do? I'm glad you asked. Her side of the story in an interview that she did on Fox is that the boy threatened his teacher, told her he was going to kill her and he was going to get his mama to beat her up. So she shows up to the school. She mad at the boss. She's so enraged that she threatens to kill her own son because he threatened to kill the teacher. So now she threatens to kill her son. And she wants to instill the fear of God in him. Now, I know some of y'all, oh, yeah, we're going to get into it today, fam. I'm going to step on some toes. Hell, I'm going to step on some toes and some kneecaps today. And some fingertips. She wants to instill the fear of God in him. I hear a lot of us who use that term. You got to put the fear of God in them. Why would you want to fear God in the first place? I thought God was supposed to be on your side. I thought God was supposed to be a loving God. God was supposed to be a caring God, a forgiving God. Why would you want to instill fear in your child on any level? Why? I understand you give your child the game, you give them information and instructions to help them navigate through this wild and crazy, beautiful world. But why would you want your child to fear you? Why would you want your child to fear God? If he fears God, he runs away from God. That's what usually when people fear something, they don't want to be around it. They don't want to be associated with it. So why would you want them to fear God? Why would you want your child to fear you? You should want your child to respect you, not fear you. And it is very attainable if you just use a little patience, and a little child psychology goes a long way. That's why they call it child psychology, because as adults, we're supposed to be more witty. We're supposed to have the tools to guide children in the right way and give them the right information, and do it in a firm way, but always with love. It's got to always be done with love. Anytime you discipline your child should never question whether you love him or her. That should never be a question. It should always be done with love. And some of you are animals when you're dealing with your children. Some of you are uncivilized mutts who need to be caged. That's right. I said it. I said it. I'm not with that, man. I'm not with that. A lot of parents are bullies. And when kids become bullies, they get it from their parents. I bet you $1 to a donut that boy got that bullying from his mama. He got that tough talking, them threats and all that stuff. Where did he get that from? That didn't come out of nowhere. He's 7 years old. Look at how the mama acts. She's in court. She's been charged with a felony, a third-degree felony. Her freedom is on the line. I think that felony carries 2 to 15 years or something like that. Her freedom is on the line. And she in court cussing, going crazy. Let me out of this, mother. That's why I said when she was doing that, when she was acting that way, imagine if she act like that at the school, how she acts in her house. She was all in the front of her son like an animal, like, I'll beat you, I'll kill you. Why would you do your child like that? That's a bully. Towering over your child, looking down on them. I'll kill you, I'll do this to you. I don't give a damn what they did. In fact, sometimes when your child acts out the worst, sometimes the acts that they commit that are the absolute most egregious acts, sometimes those acts require a response that is more measured. It requires a response that is tempered. And at all times, really, you should really not discipline your child when you're angry. Because you will say things that you really don't mean, and you will do things, you will hurt them. You know? So it takes patience. It takes patience. It ain't no thing that come easy, because a lot of times when people get angry, they just snap. They just snap. And when you're dealing with a child, you don't really have to think too much about what you're going to do or whatever, because, you know, it's your child. Usually you ain't scared of them. You ain't scared of no retribution or nothing. So you just strike them. You don't even think about how it'll make them feel, or what they could do to you, or what they might do to you. Oftentimes what your child do to you is going to happen to you somewhere down the line, where when they get big enough to where that's a no-no, that don't go no more. Or when you get old enough to where you need them. Now, you start, the tables are reversed, and all that shit you did to them when they were little come back to get you. Even if they don't have stewardship over you, even if they're not in charge of your health care, they may just decide to distance themselves from you and never let you see your grandchildren. Keep their grandchildren away from your ass. And you wonder why you can't have those experiences. Because you forfeited them. If you treated your child like shit, why would your child allow you to be around their children? In their mind, they're going to be thinking, oh, no way possible. Not after the way you treated me. No way possible. This chick was acting like a savage. Look at this, fam. And she was growling like an animal. I'll beat your motherfucking ass. No, what, all that shit. Come on, family. This is not how you deal with children. You're supposed to give children the information and instructions that they need to navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. And you're supposed to give them that instructions and that information so that they can be productive, law-abiding, decent contributors to society. You got to give them the information in a way that they know how to resolve conflict without fists, guns, and insults, like I was raised to do. I tell you straight up, family, that's the way I was raised. And I was raised like that from my mother, my single mother, who I love dearly. I loved her till the day she died, and I still do love her. But I'm going to call a strike and a ball a ball. That shit was ignorant. We love to talk about sparing the rod, spoil the child. Do you understand that the rod is not necessarily a physical rod? Do you understand that a rod means discipline, giving a child the tools in order to survive in the world? That rod is compassion also. That rod is also compassion. That rod is also protection. That rod is also sage advice. That rod is also teaching them restraint. Also denying them of things sometimes, because I don't believe in rewarding bad behavior. So my kids get out of line, they not just going to be able to just have it their way. It don't go like that. For all of you whoop ass advocates, she could have still whooped that boy and not handled him that way. Do I think that was abuse? Not necessarily, because she didn't, it wasn't physical abuse, but it was emotional abuse. And according to the U.S., what's it called? U.S. Health and U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, they defined child abuse and neglect as any recent act or failure to act on the part of a parent or caretaker which results in death, serious physical or emotional harm, sexual abuse or exploitation, or an act or failure to act which presents an imminent risk of serious harm. So based on what she did, you can pick at the part where it says emotional harm. You can't tell me that she didn't cause that boy some emotional harm. She filmed herself beat, well, she had somebody follow her, somebody she know, I'm sure, film her beating on her son. And berating him, then posting it on social media for the world to see, for his classmates to see. But she still want to send him to school with some self-esteem. She still, I'm sure she tell him, hold your head up, make good grades, don't talk back to the teacher. You better not threaten the teacher. Okay, so it's cool for her to berate her son, but it's not cool for him to berate anybody else. Did that even make sense? Does that make sense that your son threatens to kill your child, your teacher, so you're going to threaten to kill your son? How about talking to the boy and just saying, hey, we don't do that here. You don't do that, and this is why you don't do that. Kids say and do a lot of stupid stuff. I bet you she did a whole bunch of stupid stuff. I bet you she did it, and she's still doing stupid stuff. I'll bet you $1 to a donut she's used to domestic violence. She said she had, what did she say she had? 5, I think she said she had 5 kids, 4 or 5 kids. All the baby daddies gone. She talked about not having any help with them. And that could be part of the reason why she's so angry, that she's so out of control. Because a lot of times when the mother is doing it by herself, she's resentful. She's mad about that. And so if she gets any type of, if her kids put her in any type of situation where she experiences any kind of angst or any type of anger, if it brings about any type of depression for her, any type of stress, she will oftentimes strike them. She will oftentimes put hands on them. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that she is doing this already by herself and she's not getting any help. But guess what? This is not to relieve the man of any responsibility. Whatever them daddies, whoever they are, and whatever they doing, that's on them. But she made this bed, family. All of us, every last one of us make our own beds. You make your bed, you lie in your bed. She the one had them kids by them different dudes. She the one didn't pick them right. So guess what? Reset, figure it out. You don't take it out on the children. She talking about, I just want to tell my story. She said that, yeah, she got a call from the school stating that her son threatened the teacher. So she shows up to threaten her son and intimidate her son and try to put the fear of God in her son. And guess what? For all of y'all who saying she was right, guess what? She said she was wrong. How about those apples? Yeah, she admitted. She said, yeah, it was wrong. It was really wrong. But in my mind, it's just the way that I speak. It's just the way that I speak. She said, I feel terrible about it because at the end of the day, I love my kids. I would never hurt my kids, ever. This woman is delusional. She don't think that she hurt that boy. A lot of times, family, emotional abuse is a lot worse than physical abuse. Case in point, sometimes you can spank your kid and you give them the lesson and you talk to them and you explain what you did and why you did it and all this stuff, and they might themselves accept it and be like, yeah, you're right. Sometimes you can ask your child, what you think I should do? What you think your punishment should be do? You think I should whip him? Yes. You whoop them, y'all come to an understanding. You did that, y'all got it behind you. But when you say them words, man, them words are dangerous. When you say certain things to your child, they remember it for the rest of their lives. It's certain things that you can do that they may not remember. But what you say, it got a lot of weight. So she says she's going to fight for her kids. Would have never had to fight for them if your dumbass wouldn't have filmed yourself putting your hands all on your son, on a 7-year-old kid, bullying. She's a single mother of 5. The oldest is 23. And she said none of the fathers are around to help. So we don't know how many fathers it is, but none of the fathers are around to help. That's what she said. Those are her words. None of the fathers are around to help. And we knew what it was as soon as we saw. We knew what it was. You got a lot of parents who are questioning the difference between child abuse and parental discipline after watching that video, after that video surfaced. A lot of parents who are questioning that. And this happened at Homer Elementary School. I'll say it again, fam. It may not necessarily be something that I would do as a parent. I know it's not something that I would do as a parent, but it doesn't meet the criteria for abuse, in my opinion. What happened, except emotional abuse, not physical abuse. He wasn't physically abused. I want to make that clear. But he was emotionally abused. And that's all I'm trying to convey to y'all, family, is that emotional abuse carries a lot of weight. Emotional abuse carries a lot of weight. Some parents don't even hit their children. They don't even hit them. But the things that they say to them causes those kids to act out and behave just as badly. I keep hearing the people saying, yeah, well, you know, that's what these kids today need. They need the ass whoop. If they get the ass whoop, they wouldn't be out of line. They wouldn't be doing all that stuff. Have y'all ever thought about this? When I was growing up, almost all my friends were the product of a single mother household. Over half of my friends were murdered and jailed. Do you understand the gravity of that? That's just my story. That means that it's millions of other kids who had that same story. So imagine growing up in that. You're a product of a single mother household. And all of us, and I do mean every last one of us, let me back up. Most of us was getting our asses whooped by our single mothers, violently whooped and humiliated anywhere. And so we ended up dead or in jail anyway. So we got the ass whoopings. So we got the ass whoopings that y'all be asking for. We got the ass whoopings y'all advocate for. We got those ass whoopings. And still ended up dead and in jail. On drugs. Multiple baby mamas. So that ass whooping thing y'all talk about do not work exclusively just whooping ass. If you ain't got no love with that, and you can't tell me you love your child and you breaking skin and breaking bones, that ain't love. That's abuse. And your ass needs to be in a cage. Look at all of the millions of men who are products of single mother households who got their asses boxed around by their mothers. Just like that little boy got boxed around by his mama, who was spanked. Just like he got dragged. She dragged him like this, just dragging him. So they got all of that. Millions of dudes. I bet you anything, if you talk to most of the dudes that's in jail right now, they'll tell you they got their asses whooped. The ass whooping is the quick fix. It's the Band-Aid. That is the Band-Aid punishment. It takes a whole lot more to use some critical thinking when you're dealing with your child. When your child makes you upset, and instead of you striking out, you wait. And you devise the plan. Because at the end of the day, whatever you do with your child, however you choose to discipline, the result should be for that child to become a better person and to not repeat bad behavior. That should be the outcome that you want. So your actions have to be consistent with the outcome that you want. You want your child, you also want that outcome to at the end of the day to be conducive to a loving relationship. You don't want to be so tough that when your child becomes an adult, that they don't want nothing to do with you. You did something wrong. If you don't want to blame yourself, but if your child don't want nothing to do with you, you did something wrong. Maybe you wasn't there, but you did something wrong. And you got to own that. That's the only way you're going to get better. You got to own it first. And when you're estranged from your kids and you're trying to patch it back up, it's not a good idea to point the finger at them or blame them for anything. Just go ahead on and eat it, accept it, and build from there. You can't say I'm sorry. You can't apologize and at the same time accuse. That ain't gonna work. You can try it, but it don't work. That's why I say your actions have to be consistent with the outcome that you want. That woman humiliated her son. You think that ain't gonna come back? And you think if he 10 years old now, you think if she continue to behave like that with him? So maybe when it happened at 7, maybe if she had done something like that and it happened when he was 7 and they didn't record it, perhaps that would have been a chance for him to forget about that. He wouldn't even remembered it down the line. Maybe he wouldn't even remembered it. But our dumbass recorded it and put it out for the world to see. So he can't get past that. Going into the comments. What's up, Janice? Miss Jazzy, what it do? Ebony Ennis. Ebony Ennis says accountability of absentee father. I'm gonna tell you something, Ebony. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Absentee fathers, yeah, got that. They should be held accountable, right? Got that. But the absentee father ain't whooped that boy ass at that school. The absentee father didn't show up to the school and drag the boy and humiliate him, call him the N-word and all these other kind of words and beat on him. The absentee father didn't do that. The present mother did that. So yeah, he got to deal with what he do, right? Just like nobody cares about the absentee father when the child turns out right. You know how it is when the child turns out right and the child does well in life? You know how the mama, you ever notice how the mama always get all the credit and she take all the credit happily? Mama. Mama take all the credit. Watch a football game. I want to thank my mama. Watch a baseball game. I want to thank my mama. Track, mama. When the child turn out right. But the moment some shit gets fucked up, it's daddy. The daddy did the daddy. Now that's the only time they mentioning daddy. It's when something wrong with the kid. But when the kid turning out okay, the kid doing well, mama get all the credit. So when the kid don't do well, if mama keeping that kid and that kid don't do well, if that kid acting like a savage, that kid go out there and shoot somebody, it's on mama. Give mama her credit all the time. Give mama her credit all the time. Don't be sitting around picking and choosing when you want to call daddy, say something about daddy and give daddy some credit. Nah, you don't never give daddy credit unless the child turn out bad. Give mama her credit. It's a whole lot of us. Hey fam, it is what it is. And this don't mean that I care any less about black women. This don't mean that, because I love black women to life. So that don't mean that ain't got nothing to do. I'm gonna call a strike and a ball, and ain't nobody gonna paint me in a corner and try to control, my tongue. You dig what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna call a strike and a ball. Most of these little kids that's running out here in these streets, that's out in these streets, acting up, cutting up, they products of single parent households. And most of those single parent households are single mothers. That is the facts. That's what it is. I'm a product of a single mother. So, I wrote a song in support of single mothers. So I understand the struggle. But let's not act like it don't happen. Let's not act like it's not real. Most of these kids out here that's acting a goddamn fool, cutting up and all that stuff, they products of single mother households. And a lot of these dudes that are violent, they get that violence. These girls that are violent, they get that violence from their mamas. Because their mamas was whooping their asses. You can't excuse that. Starting with my mama. My mama was violent. My mama would rather whoop your ass than talk to you. She'd rather hit you than kiss you. You know how I know? Because I got more hits from her than kisses. Damn, that's cold blood. I ain't never think about that. But yeah, that's my life. My mama hit me more than she kissed me. So I'm going to call a strike, and a ball, fam. Y'all looking for somebody to pander and all that kind of stuff? Y'all going over to one of these other channels. They do it. They got some channels that do it all the time. I'm not going to be that dude. I'm not that dude. I'm going to call a strike, and a ball. And, obviously, I'm not talking to all of y'all. The shoe fit, wear it. If the shoe fit, wear it. There are absolutely some great single mothers out there who did not intend to be single. They didn't go out there looking to be single. They didn't go out there saying, I want to do it all by myself. I can get it. I got it. They ain't do none of that. They just did what the hell they had to do. And they kept it moving. But let's not act like we ain't got some out there who are traumatized and they pass that trauma on to their children. And that's why I'm talking about this, because that's what that chick did. Brittany Thomas, that's what she did with her son. You can't tell me that's love, man. That ain't love. That ain't love, going up that school, grabbing your son like this, dragging him like he a fucking animal, acting like he an enemy. That ain't what you do to somebody. She dragging him and grabbing him, beating him, and nigga getting all in his face. I'll kill you, a mother. That ain't what you do to people you love, man. That's a woman out of control. That ain't love. That look closer to hate than love to me. That look like hate. That does not look like love. That is not what love look like. That looks like hate. She absolutely needs some parenting classes, Miss M. She absolutely needs parenting classes. Her mama needed parenting classes. And her grandmama probably needed some parenting classes too. She absolutely needs anger management. It's a whole lot of us out here, man, that ain't got through our trauma out here raising children. We don't even know how to properly communicate. We don't even understand conflict resolution, and we're raising children without a clear understanding of conflict resolution ourselves. If you don't understand conflict resolution, how do you teach a child conflict resolution? If you don't know how to manage your emotions, how can you teach a child to manage their emotions? A lot of us who are out here masquerading as parents are unqualified. How many police officers out here who don't know how to manage their emotions? These dudes need anger management classes. They need psychological evaluations. They don't know how to resolve conflict. They don't have, their conflict resolution skills are non-existent. Yet they're out here every day pulling up on people, calling themselves resolving their conflict. Come on, fam. You can't give what you ain't got. This is why relations between the community and law enforcement are so strained. Most of these dudes out here, these women and policemen, they're unqualified. They don't have good conflict resolution skills. This is why they snap so fast when somebody don't comply. When somebody don't bow down, they snap, they lose it. Shut up. This is how it's going to go. I'm going to tell you how it go. You shut up. You say one more thing, I'm taking you to jail. I'm just asking why you, come on, let's go. That's it. That's it. No patience. No conflict resolution skills whatsoever. Totally disrespectful. But there they are with the badge and the gun and the authority to take life and to disrupt life, to destroy life. No different from all these parents running around here who don't understand, who has horrible conflict resolution skills. They don't even know how to talk to their own child. You're supposed to love your child. You're supposed to put your child in an environment where your child feels safe. Okay, so how are you going to tell your child? How are you going to tell your child to protect themselves and be and warn them about potential dangers out on the street, but then come home and they don't feel safe at home? Your home's supposed to be your sanctuary. If you don't feel protected nowhere else, you're supposed to you should feel safe at home. You got men, women, and children walking around in their house right now on eggshells, scared to death of the person inside of that house with them. That ain't life. That ain't how it go. What's up, curly girl? Nandy Johnston, what's up? Inside looking out. What it do? So if you're just not joining, fam, we're talking about the case of Brittany Thomas, who is the mom seen in the viral video beating on her son with the belt and berating him, cussing him out, call him the N-word, mother this and mother that, and just all kinds of stuff, just dogged them out. Handed them, dragged them, through the schoolyard. And what's telling is that all the teachers that stood around, teachers and staff members just stood around and watched. Like nobody had the presence of mind to say, yeah, I understand you're upset, Miss Thomas, but we can't do that. I mean, just for liability purposes, somebody should have stepped in and said, no. Somebody should have been trying to protect the school. No, we don't do that here. We don't do that. We don't do that at home. We don't do it like that. Yeah, I understand that's what you understand, but you can't do that here. Nobody stepped up. Oftentimes, when youngsters act out, when they become violent, when they decide that they're going to take something, they're going to destroy something, they do it because of, it's not just they don't get any love at home. It's not that they don't get any protection at home, but other adults stand by and watch them get violated. Other adults oftentimes have the information that could save them, that could put them in a safer environment, but they don't do anything. They don't step up. And then we say, Well, these kids, they disrespectful. They disrespectful. Let me explain something to y'all, family. These kids didn't get disrespectful overnight. They didn't just wake up one day and say, okay, we finna disrespect all y'all old asses. That ain't how it happened. Every generation that precedes the current generation is responsible for the current generation. Now, at the end of the day, everybody's going to have to be held accountable for their own actions. But we did this to them. We're the ones who went to prison, who got ourselves killed, who got strung out on drugs, who decided we're going to have a bunch of different babies by a bunch of different women, or we're going to have a bunch of different babies by a bunch of different men. We're going to neglect them. We're going to make sure that we have time to party. Because I got you here. Now, you're going to have to figure it out. I'm going to the club. We did that. Y'all act like this shit happened overnight. Y'all act like this happened. These kids did this all by themselves. We did that. And if we want to see it get better, we got to chip in. We got to show a little patience. We got to show a little compassion. Yeah, we can't save everybody, but we ain't innocent. We fumbled the ball. Every generation that comes before the current generation is responsible for the condition of the current generation. Now, that's the grander scope of society. On a micro level, you're talking about it's starting at home. Set it up now for your children, and they'll probably have it better than you will if you do the right thing. If you do right by them, more than likely they're going to have it easier than you. But if you don't pave the way, if you don't do something, you don't make some type of investments, or you don't start some type of business, you don't put something away, when they get to be an adult, they're going to start at zero just like you, trying to figure it out. You got 18 years before your kid become an adult to save some kind of money to help them out, give them a jump start, to give them something. But we don't want to do the work. That's the bottom line, fam. We don't want to do the work. And then when we get called on it, we get mad. I bet you it would be hard to find anybody right now that's, I don't know, let's say if you got an 18-year-old, let's say you're 35 at least. I bet you we'd be hard to press to find anybody in their 30s, period, who haven't had a chance to save some money for their child. I bet you there's nobody 30 years old who haven't blown thousands of dollars, blown on alcohol, traveling, partying, outfits, purses, shoes. We don't want to do the work. Some people have greater opportunities than others, but we all have an opportunity. We have more than one opportunity. When you have kids and you ain't got no help, like she says she ain't got no help, or even if you got help, if it's tight, man, you got to do what you got to do till you can do what you want to do. It's as simple as that. What's up, Sean Lunatic? Ruth Robinson, what's up? Michael Scott. Frankly, what's up? Another thing, fam, going back to controlling your emotions, understanding conflict resolution. If she understood conflict resolution, she wouldn't have went her happy ass up to that school with that belt swinging on her son. Even if you take out all the cuss words, she wouldn't have went up to that school because she already know. You already know your ass going to jail. Why would you voluntarily just to prove a point? Because you angry. She angry. So she just going off emotions, straight adrenaline. He mad, got me coming up here. I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna beat his ass. He got me messed up. I'm gonna kill that nigga. Acting off emotions. You know how many people we walking on right now who acted off emotions? You know how many people in jail right now who acted off emotions? You know how many people right now who don't have access to their grandchildren, who don't have access to their children because they were acting off emotions? A few more shout outs and I'm gonna shut it down, fam. Who was that? Mike Watt. What up, Mike Watt? Love and freedom. Who was that? Jose? What's up, Jose? James Thomas. Ghost Walker. That's right, Ghost Walker. Parenting ain't a joke. But guess what? We already knew that, right? You get told that. You find out that parenting ain't a joke. You're told that parenting ain't a joke from the time you're very small. Parenting is something serious. That's something serious. Everybody tell you they warn you. Get the warning all day, all the time. Warning. Parenting ain't no joke. Parenting is hard. Parenting is hard. You see it on TV. You see it on reality shows. You read about it in the magazines. You see it on the internet. Parenting ain't a joke. Parenting is serious. Serious. Now you become a parent. Now you acting like you surprised that parenting ain't a joke. Now all of a sudden you surprised. Now all of a sudden you surprised that love don't love nobody. You've seen millions of stories of people breaking up. You've seen millions of first loves breaking up. Millions of men walking out. Stories of women walking away. You've seen millions of stories of people cheating. Now all of a sudden you acting surprised and it's poor me. Man, that's the game of love. That's the risk you take. When you decide to share your body, you decide to procreate, that's the risk you take. And all I can tell you is suck it up, buttercup. It get greater later. Till next time, family. No more talk.